I'm Don Dix, and this is my wife Alene, and we are missionaries from Moody Church. During my final years of college, I felt that the Lord was wanting me to be a missionary. After I'd been here for 1 year, I had the opportunity of being a counselor up at Moody Church's youth camp. And there was where I met Alene and found out that she was already planning to be a missionary and going to Congo.
One night I was studying down by Loon Lake, and all of a sudden a young man walked up. And he knew more about me than I knew about him because he knew that I was headed to Africa. Then I found out that he was already accepted with Africa Inland Mission to go to Africa. We dated for about 6 months, and then on a cold February day, we went back up to Camp Mayoka, crawled over the fence, and went down to that same bench, and he proposed, and I said, yes.
Yes.
So a year later, Don and I were married. The theme of our wedding was Together for Him, and it has been such a joy and blessing to serve Him together.
Then in '59, we went to Belgium to study French. We arrived in Congo a year later, just after it had received its independence. We were then worked for 15 years in a secondary school for nationals. Every student in the school was a boarding student. It gave them a chance to live together as coming from different tribes, because tribalism is a big challenge in Africa. After a couple of years, our attendance was up to around 300 students. Many students went on, some to be doctors, some to be professors in seminary and so on. And it's just been a great blessing of those young people that we had a chance to invest in them in their academic training so they could go on for further studies and prepare to serve the Lord. Then the Lord allowed us to serve for 17 years as the team leader for our missionaries in Congo.
During those years, I was also helping Don as we visited our missionaries, but then mainly I was working with the women in a program called Women of the Good News, which meant scripture memorization, Bible study, prayer time together, and witnessing, and sometimes in the hospitals and jails. And that was a wonderful time because it spread in several languages in Congo as well as in Sudan and other places, and it's still going strong today. I remember these women, they memorized the scripture. And I remember going to the hospital or just going for door-to-door visitation and letting them share their faith with the people. And we were walking home one day back to the church, and this little old lady who had probably never had more than 1 year of schooling or something, and she said, "Oh, thank you, Madame, for helping us to memorize these scriptures so that we could share the gospel."
So then after that, then the Lord allowed us to spend 7 years in England, basically in administrative responsibilities, but that also gave us the opportunity to visit our missionaries of Africa Inland Mission.
We traveled to at least 11 different countries at different times, encouraging the missionaries there. And Don's a fix-it man, so he was very popular for fixing anything that was broken.
When we did leave England to come back to the States, we decided that we would take on a different role, which would be working with what we called African ministries, basically helping African refugees in the area of Wheaton where we live.
We have dozens of refugee children who call us Grandma and Grandpa, and when they were learning English, they often called me Grandpa and Don Grandma. So it's just been a joy to work with so many of these African friends, and that continues to today.
Lives have been changed. It's just amazing what God has done in lives, the hope that He's given to those people, given them a future.
And we just thank the Lord that we have been a part of this wonderful church with so many great friends, prayer supporters, and in more than 54 years, there's not been a month that Moody Church has lacked sending in support for us. And so on behalf of ourselves and the whole Moody Church missionary family, we just want to say thank you. Thank you. And for anything that has been accomplished, we would say to God be the glory.